strong profile for your academic and research career, and help you to step up your skills. Okay, so I am Jayati, and I'm currently a PhD scholar at IIST, and I have also been a research scientist at ISRO. And relating to this research academic writing, I've been guiding students. So before we start, for academic writing, there could be different purposes. Yes, so it's very important for me before I take up this session to know like the background from which the audience or maybe the students who are here today with us, that what are they looking forward from this particular talk. Like if they are a master student, they want to enroll in PhD, or what is the background of it. So I would highly appreciate if you can either type in chat, or better if you can unmute and tell about yourself. Just introduce yourself and let me know about your background and what are you willing for. Yes, so is it good to go for the students who are hearing me? Okay, so any one of you can unmute and introduce yourself.
Yes, guys, it will be really very good if you will be interactive. It will be fun, or else the whole fun will just be completely missing. Okay, so please be interactive.
Okay, so there's a small concept, that a concept of energy. The energy flows in the direction of your effort. So I am giving my energy regarding this particular course by introducing you to this particular thing. So if you also give the energy in the same direction, then your learning will be better. That I can promise you. Okay, so we have a few people telling in chat. So any one of you, you can unmute and let me know. In the meanwhile, we are waiting for other participants to join. As he mentioned that we have a lot of participants. Yes, so we have people from BSc, wow, and from software engineering also. Yes, others?
Yes, guys, you can mention your name and what you are doing currently, or what's your aim. What is the reason that you have joined this particular workshop? You can mention about all these kind of things. Okay.
Okay, so shall I randomly pick a few? Yes,
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So Diksha Dinesh. Okay, Diksha, are you with us? Okay, so I think yes.
She has mentioned it in the chat.
In chat, yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so maybe from chat I will get an idea about it. Okay.
Hello,
okay,
ma'am.
Yes. Hi, Akshat.
Hello, ma'am. Myself Akshat Namdev. I'm a first year undergrad student of mathematics and computing from Institute of Mathematics and Applications, Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
And the main aim why I joined this course and one more course in Spartificial platform is because I want to get close in the subject and get to know more about the subject of astronomy, cosmology, astrophysics, and physics in general. Yes.
So you have already done some course here. You are pursuing
No,
course.
I have enrolled, not done yet.
Okay. Good. Yeah, nice to know. So it will be very beneficial for you. Because right from the starting you'll be knowing how to get the things done.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm Vedant Girnare. I'm a second year BSMS student at ISRO Bhopal.
Oh wow, I have a lot of people I know from ISRO Bhopal. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, and I would love to know more about like publishing and stuff, because a lot of seniors there have already published multiple papers. It's very inspiring to see them. I would like to know more about this. So yeah.
Yeah, very good attempt. Very nice. And I wish to see your paper soon. Anyone else?
Hi.
There are a lot of things in the chat also.
Yes, yes.
Hi. So I'm from Ahmedabad and I want to be an astrobiologist and an astronaut and hopefully research and find intelligent life.
Oh, okay. That's good. Okay, so do we have any other person who wants to introduce them, or can we start? Hi. Okay.
I guess yes, we can start. I guess because it's already
Okay, yes.
7:35 and we are having 36 participants with us.
Okay, okay. So I'll just share my screen. 1 minute. Rohan, you tell me if my screen is visible.
Yes, it's completely visible.
Okay. Okay. So once again, it's properly visible now, like only the slides.
Yeah, it's only the slides that we are
Okay.
able to see that.
Okay. So once again, a very good evening to one and all. And as I've already introduced myself, today is going to be a session or maybe a conceptual clarity session on how you can start by research writing. What are the things you should take in mind, the conceptions about research writing, and how you can send your paper for publishing in further. Okay. So research writing does not start only by research paper or by review paper, as we all know. Research writing has now become an integral part of our academia and R&D if you are in any field. For example, if you are working in a company, you might be asked to write something called this TDP, Technology Development Proposal. Yes? Or maybe if you are planning to pursue your PhD or MS from abroad or maybe from India, a lot of universities ask you to send your research proposal. Yes? Then coming from research proposal, if you are enrolled already in PhD, then after 1 year, you are expected to write your, again a research proposal that what you will be doing as part of your research. And once you have completed the research, again, you are expected to publish some papers in the form of a research paper and further thesis. Okay. So depending upon for what purpose you are writing it and who is going to read those paper, the context of the paper changes. Okay, the context of the document that you will be creating changes. Okay, so here when I was seeing the chat and when I was even interacting, I heard a lot of people are there who are in their early careers or maybe from the software background who are already working. Okay, so for them to start with, they would have to maybe, to jump in the career, they have to start by writing the research proposal. Yes, so if you have people who are already done some work, then they would be interested in paper writing. Yes, so till here, it is clear to all of you, what research writing is. Yes or no? And while writing, what should be in your mind? Okay, so I will just take here 1 minute. I'll just brief it again. Yes. Okay. So when you are writing a document, so instead of research paper, because there are different terminologies, I will use the word document. So whenever you are writing a document, maybe a project proposal or a paper, the two things to keep in mind is, firstly, what is the purpose? And secondly, who is going to be your audience? Okay. Now coming back to proposal. So when you are writing a proposal for PhD, for example, or for some BSMS or maybe for some technological advancement, the main highlight of the proposal is what will be the significance of your contribution. Yes. So can any one of you tell me about the research you are interested or maybe some domain you are interested to work? Anyone? I saw in chat. Yes, someone told astrobiology. Yes. This is this Mr. Panjwani. He told that he want to become
Yes.
a astrobiologist. Yes. So the when you are writing a proposal, the focus should be on why or what you want to do and what contribution will your research will make in the field of astrobiology. Okay, for example, if you want to know that, if a plant is sent on moon, how it will be reacting. This could be a proposal. This could be like, the research that you want to do. So for it, like, once you know what are the significant contributions, has any work been done in past relating to it, or if this work is done, what are the future prospects of further doing it? This becomes very important along with your research objective. Okay, when you're writing a proposal. So in general, when we talk, a proposal or a research paper has a title, abstract, then something to introduce about the concept, and some literature review. Literature review as in, in past what people have researched on the same topic. Then you come up with your research objective, that what you want to do, a tentative methodology and significance. So we will be discussing about all these in our further slides. On contrary, when you are writing a paper, the focus changes from like, what significance or contribution your research will be doing, to what was the methodology that was used, what results you obtained, and how it competed with the existing technology or existing things, and how it is doing a significant impact. So when you're writing a proposal, even the reader expects that you know the topic on the periphery. Yes, but when you write a research paper, the reader also expects that you have gone sufficiently in depth, and you are having a very good hold of your like topic, whatever you are doing your research on, and you have got significant results that can improve the science with the this piece of paper. Okay, so let us now move on to like, how a research paper should be. But before I get into the research paper or what it should be, I just want to have a little interaction with the audience. Okay, so see, whenever we are doing any course, for example, a few of you are doing engineering, a few of you are doing BSMS, yes. So before doing a course or before enrolling in the course, you have an objective, like why are you doing it? Yes? Yes or no? For example, if you're doing engineering, you have a concept in mind, why are you doing that? Yes? For example, to get a job. Yes? To get more knowledge, it's very abstract answer. Or third could be like, you want to study further. Okay? You want to earn good. So these could be like, the few reasons you want to explore the world while you, why you have joined your some particular course. Similar to it, I have a question to ask from all of you. Yes, shall I? Okay. So, why do you think that you should write your research paper, or why you should write a proposal, or why you should write a review article, or some kind of article that tells about your work, or that tells about the, the inspiration, the zeal you are having to do some work? Yes, I'm expecting answer. To get it peer reviewed, yes. Very good, Tanvi.
To develop the science further.
To develop it further, yes, very good. Okay, so I will give you two answers of this question. Okay, so the first one is the practical, and the second one is ideal. Okay, so the practical, being very practical, the thing is, in the context of research or this scientific community, it is said that you publish or you perish. Yes, the population of world is growing. Yes, we are in an era which is having a lot of population. So, and a lot of population means a lot of brains. A lot of brain means a lot of ideas, and your ideas could be juggling maybe in the mind of other people also. So if you don't publish, it is possible that the idea or whatever zeal or whatever work you want to do might perish. Like tomorrow, it might be outdated. For example, if the design of keyboard, or if the design of we all had seen those Nokia phones. I hope you remember. Yes. So the design of keypad had a significant impact. Yes. So a research at that time on how the design of the keypad was relevant. Today we all are having smartphones. Yes. So is the idea on like, you know, how the keypad should be that much relevant? Yes or no? Anyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is not that relevant now. Yes. Okay. So that is like, you know, that the same concept goes in the scientific thing also, that either you publish or the idea might perish. Okay. So was the practical reason, like, you know, why you should focus on research writing or why it is important. The second thing is, as the other people told, that we have to prove our research, or maybe we want to build our research better, because once we write and once the peers review it, we know what are the limitations of the research. We get an idea on how we can improve our research, and the science progresses. Yes. So these are the two reasons. So now I hope, like, you know, you are very clear that, you know, why this particular session is going to be really very important for you. Okay. So how the research paper should be. Now you all know that why you should do or write a research paper or proposal, why you should attend this particular session. Now we will learn about the second thing, that is how the research paper or a proposal should be. Okay. So gone are those days when there were some limitations, or when there were some preset conventions. Yes, earlier there were conventions like, you know, for example, that the things should be done in a particular manner. But today the world is very open. Okay, open to new ideas, open to new ways. They want to see the dynamism. Okay, so your paper or your proposal should be your way. But when I say it should be your way, it does not mean that, you know, you can write anything in Sen. There are some key ingredients which it should have. Given an example, just to make you understand, when I tell about, let us take a simple example of tea. Okay, so a tea can be served in a cup, a tea can be served in a glass, a tea can be served in the, a tea can be served in the, like, you know, a saucer in a very nice cup. So there are different ways in which the tea can be served. But the ingredients in the tea, for example, if I'm making a milk tea, okay, so it should have milk, it should have cardamom, it should have ginger. All these are it should have tea powder. Okay, it should be made correctly. So all these things are very essential. So the way of your paper can change, but the components that it should have literature review, it should give an idea of methodology, it should describe the data set, it should have a good discussion. All these things are very important. How you present is your way. Okay, so today to explain this, what we have done is, I have taken a sample paper. Okay, so the one second. So the paper is maybe, like, you know, in the upcoming slides, the title and other things will come. So this is one of a very good paper I found relating to astronomy and machine learning. And when you see the paper, it is having abstract, introduction, what is the problem and the solution, like the methodology, and the conclusion. Only 4 things. Okay. Yes. So this is the way the paper is written. But when you read the paper, it is having everything. It is having introduction. It is having the literature review. It is giving an idea of methodology. It is expressing the results and discussion, even though it is not explicitly mentioned here. So this is what I mean by the phrase, like, your paper, your way, but all the key components should be there in the paper. Yes. So far clear to all of you? If you're having any doubt, you can unmute and ask me. Okay. Yes, I will come to that point, Shaurya, relating to, you know, proof. Okay. So I hope so far is so clear. Okay, so then I come to the next point, that is, you know, all of you would be knowing that Rome is not built in a day, or maybe Taj Mahal was not built in a day. Similar to that, whenever you are starting your research writing, you should keep in mind that good things take time to develop or to build. Yes. So if you're writing a research paper that I'm writing today, yesterday I did work, today I'm writing, tomorrow I have to send, it might not be in its best version. So you have to give time to write it. After writing, you have to give time to revise it. After revising, you have to give time to proofread yourself that the things are written properly to make it best version from your end. Okay. So whenever you read about some research or research article or paper or proposal, even the first thing that suppose if I'm getting hundreds of papers to read, suppose you're applying for PhD at some university, XYZ university. Okay, the professor would be getting a lot of proposals. How would a professor decide which proposal should he read or not read? Okay, so in this domain, two things become very important. First is title, and second is abstract. Okay, but even in this, the most important thing that becomes is title. So all of you would be knowing about this. In newspaper, there are people who are there to customize the headlines. Okay. Similar to this, when we are doing a research writing, the title becomes very important. So what are the things to keep in mind when you are writing a title? For it should be very concise, specific. It should have the keywords which you want to do in your research. For example, I'm just taking an example from this astrobiology. If you want to see that how a particular plant will behave if it is in the outer atmosphere or maybe at some location, so it has to be very specific, that effect of this particular climate on in this on this plant. Okay, so all the keywords relating to what you want should be there in the title. Okay. So just to explain in detail about how each and everything should be, so let us move further. So it should be informative. We should avoid the extra words. For example, as I mentioned about the title on astrobiology, okay, the effect of this plant on this particular climate. Any extra thing, that role of this particular atmosphere, any extra words should be avoided, because the title should be very crisp, clear, and very attractive. Okay, so I'll just give you example from this paper, as I mentioned. So the paper has a title of Bayesian and machine learning methods in big data era for astronomical imaging. So it is having all the key points or the key terminologies which should be mentioned, that it is dealing with the methods of Bayesian and machine learning. It is handling the problem of big data. On what kind of data? On astronomical images. So is it very clear? You can just say yes, no, or maybe give in the chat or somewhere. Okay. Is it very concise? Is it having any extra words? A lot of extra words? No? Yes. So that is how a title should be. Okay. Now coming to the next very important thing is abstract. So for whenever you are there to write an abstract, this strategy I follow, I use a 5-finger rule. Okay. So 5-finger rule is why your research should be done. What then how first is why your research should be done. Second is on what data or on what concept your research will be done. Yes. Third is how it will be done. For example, what methodology you are using to do it. Then what it resulted in. What results did you get? And finally, what your paper explains. Is it any improvement? Is it any improvement with the previous works that have been done? Or is it a new technology or a new concept that you are introducing in a paper? So these 5 points should be there in the paper. Okay. The same thing I have explained here in this slide, that it should introduce to the problem. For example, if I take example of climate change. Climate change is a big problem. Yes, global warming is a big problem. In global warming, one of the component is water vapor also. Okay, or maybe let us take about another pollutant, say ppm. Okay, or if you want to take example from astronomy, then in astronomy, one big problem is we are having a lot of data. Yes, we are having ISRO, we are having NASA, we are having European space agencies. All these agencies are acquiring a lot of astronomical data every day. But to handle that data and extract information from that data is very, very challenging. Yes. So for that could be one of the challenge for which you want to do some research. So in that abstract, that to handle the big data, some new concepts are needed. So and so concepts have been applied, or and this is the limitation. In this work, we have applied this concept, and the outcome of the study says some whatever the outcome of the study is, with conclusion, and you can include the keywords. Okay, so in a nutshell, I told you that 5-finger rule: why, what, how, result, and one line of conclusion. So this is a sample abstract that I just got. Okay, in this abstract, I want you to please read it once and tell me what is missing. According to the 5-finger rule, I told you that why, what, how, and result are important. So when you read this abstract, can you find out that, is there something that is missing in this, which makes it not that attractive? Okay, I give you 3 minutes. Just make a reading to it, and if you can let me know that, what is missing in this. It is not at all attractive.
Is it missing the why? The reason for it?
It is missing why, that, why your research should be done. They started with, in this study, what they did, but why this study was done is one major portion that is missing. Very good. Thank you. So on contrast, from the example paper I took, this is the abstract. So here they have, I'll just give you the crisp of every sentence and tell you that why this is a very attractive abstract, especially for the reader which comes from this domain. So whenever you are writing a research paper or research proposal in specific, someone who is elderly to you in terms of knowledge will be reading it. Yes or no? In terms of experience, research experience, yes? Okay. So in that context, first you tell the, so in this particular abstract, first they told that, from the space, a lot of data is delivered. Okay, there is some mission from which a lot of data will deliver. But with this, there is a problem that, every time to reconstruct the image, it takes a lot of time and consequence. So we need advanced image reconstruction methods that can do this work. Okay, so there are different kind of images. If you take my image now, that is a different image. If you take image of a landscape, that is a different image. When you come to astronomical images, there would be different set of challenges. Yes or no? Yes. True. So when there are different set of challenges, there will be different set of solutions. Yes. So this is what is targeted in this particular abstract, that for it, we need different set of solution, advanced image reconstruction methods, which are critical to meet the data requirements for our operational purposes. So in this domain, they have applied some technique from astrostatistics and astroinformatics. Okay. And by this, they were able to, synthesize the imaging and meet the big data challenge. So first they told why they want to do this, because we have a lot of data and image reconstruction is a problem. There are a lot of methods, but for this particular purpose, we need some advanced methods. And this is the method that they have used. And with this, they were able to synthesize the imaging with a lot of data also. Okay, so is it very clear, crisp, relevant? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, so did it give you an idea how your abstract should be? It is having all the keywords that are needed. Okay, so soon after the abstract in a research proposal or in a research paper, being very specific, there is keywords. So what are these keywords? Okay, so tomorrow if someone wants to, there are a lot of research papers, there are a lot of research articles today. You all agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. So if someone wants to know whether your article will be relevant for his or her study, or her even giving a reading also, what they will be looking forward is for the keywords. Okay. So in the keywords, whatever things you are using in your particular research, you have to mention. For example, here they are using astronomical data from radio waves. So they are using radio astronomy. They are doing image analysis using machine learning and Bayesian inference, and they are somewhere targeting to solve the inverse problems. Okay, so the keywords are not, can be or cannot be in the abstract, but keywords are the phrases with which a person, if he search that phrases, he should be able to reach your paper. Okay. Yes, we all do Google search, and you all would be knowing that, there's some algorithm that works on what link has to come. Yes. So similarly, when you in the field of this research writing, abstract and keywords play a very important role. So far clear? Yes. Can we do a quick review in 2 minutes? Yes. So when you were doing your JEE preparation, or maybe, during your 12th class, you would have heard this, that if you revise what you have studied in 2 hours, you will remember it more. If you revise it in 24 hours, you will remember it still. If you revise it after 3 days, you will forget it. Yes or no? Are you aware of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So can we do a very quick revision in 1 minute? Yes? No? Okay. Okay, so what we learned so far? We learned that before doing a research writing or documenting something, we should be clear on what is the purpose. A proposal will be different from a research paper. There are 2 different things, and the focus of the study or the focus of the document will change. Okay, second thing that we learned today is what are the compulsory things that should be there in the research paper. The literature review, that is all the review of the works that have been done in that domain, the methodology that you applied. These are the essential items, but your research should be your way, how you want to express it in the form of document. The third thing that we learned is the title, how the title should be. It should have the keywords, but it should not be very, it should not have jargons. Okay. A research title is different from a YouTube title. A YouTube title is to attract a broader audience. Yes, a marketing title is to attract a broader audience. But on contrary, a research article is to attract someone who is already proficient in that field, or who already knows about that field. Yes. Then we learned about abstract, how the abstract should be, and I told you about the 5-finger rule, that how you can write a very good abstract using 5-finger rule. Okay, so now moving forward to next thing, that is introduction. Okay, so coming to this slide first. So in the introduction, what a person or what the reader expects. Can you tell me from this particular thing, the diagram that I have made here? Anyone, that what a reader expects from introduction?
The basic idea of your research.
Problem.
A brief overview. Very good, Rohit. Yes. That is the very crisp answer, that he expects a very brief overview. So in the overview, the first thing that comes is again the concept that why you are doing that research. That is the first thing that is important. Second is how. So in the first few paragraphs, your abstract is going to be a little elaborate, but along with the abstract, the focus will be on what is the need of the study. As in, conceptually, what is the need of the study? What problems are it going to solve? What are the limitations of existing work? And most importantly, what solution you are giving? Or what is the research objectives, or what are the, how do I make it as, what is the research aim, research objective, what is the proposed methodology, or proposed solution you are giving of that problem. Okay, so moving here, so it should have a opening statements that attracts the reader very much to take you in the background. For example, if I'm doing a project on urbanization, okay, on urban governance, suppose my project is on urban governance. Can anyone of you tell me that, what should be my first starting statement should be? Shall I jump directly to urban governance? That what is urban
No.
governance?
Yeah, you should explain first what it is.
No. First, we have to explain why urban governance is needed, why effective urban governance is needed. Urban governance is existing at this point of time. So what is the need for your research then? So to explain this, I have to tell that according to United Nations, in the further years, the urbanization is growing and more than 65% population will be migrating to urban spaces. And to mitigate this, to deal with this situation, we need an effective urban governance. You got the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about others? So now, yes. So now, can you give me an example? Just, you can give me an example that this is the problem. I will think and tell you that, what can be the problem statement. Okay. So if not, yes, tell me.
Okay, for example, I want to do research in like space junk.
Space?
Space junk, the waste.
Junk. Okay.
Yes, yes.
The space debris, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of space debris, so space debris can be a very big problem to the satellites which are evolving. Okay. And they can hinder the processing. So in today's world, a lot of communication and communication, imaging, Earth observation, so many things are happening by the satellites moving around the Earth, orbiting the Earth. And the space debris which start from a size of this millimeter to the whatever the dimension could be, can be a big problem in the functioning. So like this you can start. You got my point?
Yes,
That
ma'am.
why the space debris is a problem. Okay, very good. Okay, so after you have given your opening statement, the second thing is to introduce the topic. Then I will be introducing about, for example, space debris. We'll take example of that. So space debris, first we talk that why it is important, because if it exists in big amount, the statements will be like why it is a problem. Today, what is the context of space debris? How much space debris is there? If some organizations have given some good statements about the space debris and what problem it can create. Then the second part of your introduction will be what are space debris. So telling that from the satellites which are not functional now, which are destructed, their remnants orbit around the Earth's or sphere of influence to make this space debris. That is how you introduce your statement. You introduce your topic. Then you give the statement of problem. So now, what is the problem? The problem is not space debris. The problem is not that their existence. In research, the problem is how you are tackling a specific niche of that space debris. So detecting space debris so that they can be taken out can be one of the research problem. Okay. Yes. So I am focusing on detecting space debris. Yes, that could be my problem statement. Then I have to give a significance that if we are able to detect these space debris, we can prevent the satellites, or maybe we can have from getting harm from this space debris. And for doing this, I'm applying, I'm using the data from this observatory or this something, whatever, from whatever source the data is available, and applying this kind of technique so that space debris detection at an accurate level, their positioning, their speed, or their trajectory can be detected, can be done further. Okay. So to explain this, I've taken the example from the same research paper as I told. So when you look at this research paper, if you can read, can you read, like, where the people are from? Yes, no, okay. So one is from European Southern Observatory. Then one is from Max Planck Institute of Astrophysics, and the other very good organizations. So I assume that this paper is one of the best papers in this particular domain. So that is why I'm taking example from it. So when you read its introduction, they tell you about that, this is the antenna, which is giving the data in 8 different bands, in different wavelengths, which is giving the data in different wavelengths, and we are able to get a lot of data. Okay, so it is giving a lot of data, for example, 10 to 12 times per second or something like that. Okay, and they have given some photo of that, of the antennas, and this is where they would be storing the data. Then they have first introduced that they need to have, like, how they use the data is a big challenge. So they used to develop a roadmap that can help in utilizing the data. Okay. Currently, they are getting a data of 1 TB scientific data daily and other details about the data. And now they are telling that exactly what they will be doing is, since the number of observed data is too much, so the imaging algorithms must provide a reliable result so that a human intervention about what data is there or what information they can extract from the data can increase. So for this, the demanding task is image reconstruction. So this becomes your problem statement, your research objective, or your research aim. Okay. So I will just make you a quick scroll through it again. We first introduced that a lot of data is a problem. And to deal with this data, we explained about the data. We need good algorithms that can handle that. Okay. So this is what is expected from the introduction. So do you want to give any example to me that you can formulate that what paragraphs your article should have, the introduction of your paper can have? Any one of you? Okay, so can we go ahead with space debris? Yes. Can we go ahead with the space debris example? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so in the space debris example, first we have to tell that what issues it can create. Then we have to tell about, like, currently how much space debris is predicted, or like, how much it is existing, current state of the space debris. Then we can tell about the other things are why it is essential to study the path of the space debris, the trajectory they are following, the size they are having, Okay, so when I talk about space debris, there are 2-3 things that associate with it. One is the size, another is trajectory, speed. Okay, so why it is important? And this why is being answered in here when I showed you that currently we are getting a lot of data, and to deal with this data, the imaging algorithms need to be very reliable and robust so that with the reduced human intervention, the data can be used to extract information. Now, is it clear to all of you that what is this particular paragraph in that paper explaining?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So then they move to how they are solving it. So then I will come to the next part of it. That is why it is essential, we have told. Then we will come to how we are detecting it. So here in this statement, they have told the research objective that in this study, they have developed a Bayesian adaptive interferometric image reconstruction methods. So whatever the images they are getting, they are reconstructing it using the machine learning techniques so that they can develop better images. Okay. So quickly, we'll brief about what the introduction should have. So it should have the introduce your topic, describe the background, establish a research problem. Okay, so a research problem is different from the actual problem that we see. Then specify the objective and then map out your research, that in this work, what you are doing. Now, literature review is a very key component of any research paper or research proposal. Very, very important component. So, when you would have taken admission in college, then before taking admission, one process, everyone of you must have gone through. That is entrance exam. Yes? You all would have given some entrance exam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So an entrance exam tells the other person who doesn't know you that how much you know. Yes? It gives an idea about how much you know. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Similar to this, when you're writing a research proposal specifically, your literature review gives the idea to the other person who does not know you that how much you know, how much elaborately you have studied the subject, what is the depth of your study that you would have conducted so far. Similarly, in a research paper also, the literature review is very important because it tells the reader, it tells the editor that you have gone through the previous literature and you have not reinvented the wheel. You got my point? Suppose if you have mixed sodium and chlorine to make NaCl, okay, this work would have been done in previous work and you are putting it as a new work. Yes, so you are kind of reinventing the wheel, which should not be there in the research domain. So that is why the literature review becomes very, very important. So it introduces the idea, it gives a historical context, it tells about the key theories and concepts which are associated, the methodologies that could have been used in future, and about their major findings. Apart from this, so I told you about abstract. Abstract, you should follow a 5-finger rule. So how many of you want me to tell you about some rule for literature review? Yes? Okay. Okay. So in literature review, I have a 3-finger rules. It's very simple. Okay, first you have to give the literature review pertaining to the problem that you are facing. For example, if the problem is space debris, so literature review about the space debris, that what it is, how it is, what are the data that can be useful. Then the second thing is about the methodology. A literature review of the methodology, like previous literature, what they have done. And the third and the very important thing is what are the research gaps, that what the previous studies could not find. For example, there could be studies that are able to find the accurate size of the space debris. And your research is finding size, along with the size, the speed and the trajectory. Yes, by machine learning, you are predicting the trajectory of the space debris. Yeah, so this is what you have to tell that there is need not only for size but also to know the trajectory of the space debris. And this is what becomes very important. The critical analysis of previous researches, what are the gap in that, and how your research is bringing a transition to the existing research that have been done. So in this work earlier, when I showed you about what this paper had, so this paper had introduction, methodology, and conclusion, only 3 sections. Yes. So what they have done, that this literature review had 3 things. The first literature review was about the problem. They had got that literature review in the introduction section. The second was about the methods. So here you can see that originally designed to detect the source. So here they have done some kind of referencing that you can refer to this paper relating to this particular work that have been done. Okay. For example, to do that particular task, the Resolve is one of the Python library that was used or that was developed. So here they have given that, this is the previous work that has been done. So this is the second part about the methodology. The third part about the research analysis is, one second, they have told somewhere like, one second, here that the first they told that Resolve Python library has been used, but to do that we need there are traditional other methods, like for example clean method, but it is having several operating modes allowing for generation of visibility and reconstruction of sky model. So to use it more effectively, like the context is what are the limitations of the research that you are doing. Okay, so the main advantage of using this research is that it is converging the speed or to derive the optimum solution. So just we will go through a very quick review on the literature review. Okay, 1 minute. Yes. So what it should have, the 3 things it should have. Can you repeat? Can you let me know what are the 3 things your literature review should have anywhere in the paper? Okay, the first is about the
Background one, that
background,
whatever
very
we
good.
did the research.
Methodology.
Then we have methodology, and then just what we are doing, whatever our limitations and
Yes, what limitations we are trying to solve. What was the research gap, what was not done, what we are trying to do. Okay, very good. Thank you, Neha. Then we will move to the next part. So data is very important for the any paper or whatever you are doing. See, the whole concept of research is to convert the data, especially in the field of astronomy. If it is a computational astronomy, specifically, there are now we are having 2 kind of markets. One is the manufacturing industry, then we are having the IT industry. Yes. Okay, so when I'm talking about the IT industry, then the concept is to convert data to information. Yes, when I'm talking about the manufacturing industry, the aim is to convert the sources available to the useful products that we can use. Yes. Similarly, in astronomy also, when we are dealing with observational astronomy, we would be using some data. So in the paper, either in as an independent section or in the introduction or in the methodology, it is very important that we tell about the data. So how can we tell about the data? We have to tell about what are the dimensions of the data, what is the source of data, then what attributes the data is having, and for which we can use images, graphical representation, and tables along with the writing, which gives a very good view of the data set. Okay. For example, in this paper, you can see that data contains a lot of noise. Yes, it is being observed. It is giving an idea about the sky brightness. What are the fields, the metadata which is present. So here they have described about the data, how it was acquired. So this is how you explain about the data. After data, the most important thing becomes methodology. See, the sequence of reading a paper goes like, a person first reads your title. If the title is sufficient good enough to attract the person, they will read the abstract. If the abstract is good enough, the third thing that any researcher usually jumps on to is the methodology. After studying a line or two about the research objective, is what methodology you have applied. So this section becomes very, very important. Okay, so a methodology basically should be very clear, well structured, so that it can explain step by step that how your research was conducted. Okay, and the aim of the methodology is that if any person wants to replicate your research, he should be able to do that. Okay, that is why we are writing this section now. When I was when I asked about the questions that why research writing should be done, one of you had answered that, for the research to grow. Yes. So if the research has to grow, the other person will be doing the work which is next to your work. Yes, maybe the future generation. So to do that, they should be able to at least replicate your work and then build upon that. So to replicate the work, the one thing that becomes very, very important is the methodology section, which should be written in a very clear and a proper manner. Okay. So generally, to represent a methodology, a flowchart is being used in most of the papers that you can use. And apart from the flowchart, this description is there. Now, basically, in today's era, we have a lot of ready-made things. Yes. If I ask you about, like if you serve me a plate of Maggie and I ask you how you made Maggie, what would be your answer? Anyone?
It's simple. I just buy it and cook it for you.
Okay. So suppose if I am interviewing for a cook and I ask how this Maggie was prepared.
You
So
will
they
say
will
each step
explain
like
more
in more
delicate
clear
answer.
format. Like, hey, I took this
One
water.
minute, one
This
at a
much was the
time.
quantity and stuff.
What? The quantity of water and etc. Yes. But when you think from a research perspective, if you tell me both of your answers, yes, Neha, you were also giving some answer, na?
Yeah, ma'am, my answer is quite similar, that she is giving more
Okay.
details, what the first
Okay.
step, second step is.
Okay, in both of the cases, I will reject your application for being a cook. The reason being, you know about how the Maggi is prepared, you know how much the quantity you should use, but as a cook, I expect you to tell that maida was rolled to make noodles, spices were roasted and made into spice mix. Yes. What was the process behind it? Because I'm not interviewing you for cooking Maggi. I'm interviewing you for being a cook. Yes. So similar as the concept when it comes to research. Okay. In the research, the people who are evaluating you expects you to go further in detail. They want to know that how much in depth you have an idea. Machine learning today, we are having so many libraries which are doing you name the algorithm. You name, for example, random forest. You have a 2-line code to do random forest. You give your data, you write a random forest, and it's done. Okay, that anyone can do. But as a researcher, if random forest is working, the person or the evaluator or someone who in the scientific domain expects you to know why random forest is working. Okay, what is the concept of random forest? How that algorithm was developed? Okay, what was the mathematics behind it? And how in this data, when this mathematics was applied, helped to get the accurate answer? Did you get the concept? Like what you should keep in mind while writing a methodology? Yes, no?
Mom, I got the idea, but not the clear one because in methodology, I think we just have to mention what we are doing and what we know before and what are the implications which we done in that research field.
Yes, but this is what they expect from someone who is maybe a computer person, that you are doing this, who wants to create a manual. How a methodology is different from a manual? Yes, suppose if you're doing something, you're creating a manual. Yes,
Yes, mom.
methodology is different from a manual because it is telling how you are doing and also why you are doing, what is the background behind it, why it is working for you. Yes.
Mom, at this point, I'm little bit confused because
Okay.
we already mentioned this thing that why we are doing this thing because
No,
in
no, no, no,
literature review
no, no, no.
also.
I'm not. I'm talking about the methodology. Okay, I will explain you with an example.
Yeah, sure, mom.
Okay, so suppose I will give example of this debris. Okay, so in the debris detection, I just want to detect the size of debris. There could be different methods to detect the size of debris. That they first detect the debris in an image. I take an astronomical image. I detect the debris in the image, and maybe by region growing algorithm, I can just see the what size of image it is. Okay, but my approach, I'm using some different approach. For example, I'm using a hierarchical approach, like based upon how much area that it is occupying. Um, See, 1 second, give me a moment because this is a very critical part. You know how the research is different. So I'll just take a moment, 1 minute. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, mom.
Okay, so generally, my problem is, I'll define first my problem. So my problem statement is I want to distinguish between the types of um, types of debris. Okay, I want to distinguish between the, I want to find different type of debris. They can be circular, they can be elliptical. Yes, when you see an
Yes, ma'am.
astronomical object, okay, so it can be like relatively circular, it can be elliptical, it can be large, it can be small. Yes.
Yes, mom. We can take that.
Okay. 1 minute. Large, it can be small. Okay, so there could be different methods to find it. One method could be, which mostly used, is like first they make the shape of the debris, and after making the shape of the debris, they calculate the parameters, that what is the circularity or what is the ellipse, some uh, like breadth upon height, something like that. What is the size based upon slide they will divide, whether it is large or small. Okay, our method, suppose our method is little different. Have you watched that movie Mangalyaan, Mission Mangal? What, I forgot the name of the movie. Mission Mangal, I think. Yes.
Maybe I haven't visited that till now.
Yeah. So in that movie,
Basically,
Vidya Balan said like one statement. Okay, are you saying something?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
because the reason of asking this methodology a lot more time because I did my undergraduate thesis under my teacher, and he didn't give me the proper overview what exactly. So he just tell me that write down the things again and again. That's why I'm confusing because he
Okay,
already
yes, yes,
mentioned
it is
all the
very critical
problem.
actually. So in that
Yes, ma'am.
scene, she explained that our method is different. Yes. She
Yes,
told that
ma'am.
instead of going there, we are going like this. Okay, so instead of calculating shape, my method is maybe calculating just the bounding box. That there is where the maximum x or maximum y is coming. Yes, based upon that, I am calculating that whether it is circular or not. Okay, regarding the elliptical, I'm just finding that what is the longitude, diameter, or what is the maximum, this without finding the shape, exact shape, just based upon the boundary points, or just based upon the the points from the bounding box. And based upon the bounding box only, I can distinguish between large and small. Sufficient enough, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, when you're writing a methodology, you have to not only write that you are extracting bounding box, you are extracting, and then you are, dividing into this. You also have to mention why you are doing this. Okay, why you are not going with the conventional step, why you are choosing to this method to directly calculate. Okay, and how mathematically you are calculating it, maybe with the help of a diagram you are giving the example. uh, Wait just a minute. So here you can see, yes, one second. Okay, so in this particular paper, what they are doing is they are firstly taking the brightness of it. They are taking the brightness parameter from, for example, just a minute, I'll be back, 1 minute. Yes. So, sorry for this thing. Yes. So, what they are doing is they are using the data as the one which is reflected back. Okay. So, statistically, they are describing the data. That statistically, data is this function. And when we apply this particular Hamiltonian information, when we extract this, we get an idea about the whether the information can be decomposed, reconstructed and all. Okay, coming back to our example. So here also, so by a figure or by somehow we have to tell that with this bounding box, we are able to get the different parameters, and based on these different parameters, we will be able to classify in whatever function we want. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So in this methodology, we don't have to write down the exact problem which we written in the literature review. We have to
Yes.
write down the problem that why we are using this method. Not
Yes, and how it is giving us the adequate result.
yeah, better result I can
Better
say
result.
because the
Yes.
we don't know.
How mathematically it is doing that. See, for example, I'll just give you an example. If you have to, if I ask you to do 43 into 43, how will you be doing? Will you be sitting to multiply? Or you would be using the formula of a plus b ka whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab.
Yes, ma'am, we can use that.
You will be using the formula because that is simple.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
just have to add the things. This is how you have to explain that on your data, how the methodology you have applied is giving a good result. Got my point? Mathematically.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Okay. Yes. So I hope if others are also having any doubt, you can just ask 1 minute. I'll get back to the slides. Okay. So after the methodology section, the other section, the two sections that become very, very important is result and discussion. So a result is like, whatever the result you have, like for example, if it is a classification, you are describing the result. But is that sufficient? Suppose if I tell you about, say, classifying the type of debris, whether it is a big, small, what class of debris it is. So only giving the picture of like, these many small debris and this many big debris were found. Is that sufficient from a researcher point of view? So why a research is done? A research is done for analysis. Yes. So as part of research also, the reader usually expects you to provide a brief statistics about the result, a description, and if your result is able to prove the hypothesis that you had pasted in during the introduction, that using this methodology, this work can be done. Also, if there are any key findings, suppose this kind of particular class, we were able to classify with more accuracy. Okay, so these kind of findings should also be highlighted. So in the result section, yes, so a result can be presented firstly with the image of result, secondly by the statistical parameters, and thirdly by some kind of other representation. I'll just show you an example. Here, if you can see, this is the result from two different methodologies. Yes, they have used the resolved posterior mean, and this is the standard deviation image. So yes, so this is the mean reconstructed image, like, and this is the standard deviation image, and this is some kind of graph. Okay, so this helps you to give a more analysis about the results. Yes, that it was able to describe it in a nice way, and by this graph we can tell that by using this methodology our analysis was done in a better way. Okay, giving example again, like here you can see, even giving the simple image, 1 minute, about where this thing was detected, wherever a blob was detected, could have been given. Yes, but additionally in this diagram you see there is a red bounding box created. Did you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that further explains that these are the exact places where it has been found. So this is how you can showcase your results. Okay, so one is the graphical and other representation. So usually the result and discussion go hand in hand, but depending upon, as I mentioned earlier also, your paper should be your way. So you can have a discussion section as a separate also, but it should summarize your findings, share like if any interpretations you have done in the data, what are the limitations of the data, and what future prospects can be done of this particular work. Okay, so in this work, as we have seen that there were only 3 sections. So in the methodology section itself, they had described the results, methodology, literature review on methodology, results, and discussion. Okay, so here can you see the last sentence? Because of the algorithm design, this tool provides a better this and has the potential to successfully achieve the data combination and whatever results. So this is the concluding line that we expect from discussion. Now, when I talk about what discussion means, so discussion means giving a multi-dimensional analysis. Okay, so do you want to know about some rule for discussion also? I told you about abstract, I told you about literature review.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how many of you want to know? Okay. Okay, yes. So discussion has one thumb rule. Okay, that is make it multidimensional. You keep the result in front of you, you keep the methodology in front of you, you keep the keep the problem in front of you. Yes, then you think from different perspective. From example, size perspective, time perspective, complexity perspective, accuracy perspective. Yes, the findings perspective. So with different dimensions, when you see the same problem and the results and the methodology, you will come up with a very elaborate discussion section. You got my point?
Ma'am, could you explain this one
Yes.
please once more?
Yes. I gave an example of space debris. Yes. So in that I
Yes,
gave a
ma'am.
methodology that we can define the bounding box. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So how in a discussion way I can look at the different dimensions. So first is that there is already existing method that first defines the shape and then defines into which class this particular debris belongs. Okay, but I can say that in a real-time situation, if a debris is approaching a satellite, it is very intrinsic that the satellite needs to repel or based upon the size of the debris react. Okay, for this real-time analysis, doing calculating the shape and other things takes a lot of time. So to maintain the accuracy, at the same time reduce the time for classifying the type of debris, this approach was used. You get my point? And with this approach, we were able to get the results with this much percentage of accuracy on this data. In further works, further approaches or further parameters can also be used to improve upon it. Yes,
Okay, ma'am. So
I'm leaving
basically,
a lot of fill in the blanks. Yes.
yeah. So basically, discussion is that part in which we just tell the what is the means the problems with the previous method which we are having, and what our method will does.
See,
What's the
you all be knowing about this, no? Lawyers are there. Lawyers.
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yes. So discussion section is lawyer of your paper. Okay, so you have to prove that whatever research you have done is significant, and that how to prove that discussion section becomes very important. Okay, so to prove that, as a lawyer takes example of different gawah. What do you say gawah in English? I forgot. Anyone knows? Witness takes example of different witness. Yes. So similarly, in our research also for the discussion section, we have to take example of different, what do you say, different dimensions. One witness could be comparing your results with the results from previous work. Yes. Second discussion could be like, the time the previous work took to do that particular task. Third discussion could be like this, your work and previous work, like, what accuracy, in terms of accuracy, in terms of data handling capacity, in terms of like, the dimension depend upon what research you are doing. Okay, so for each research, the dimensions will be different, but you have to bring out the witness using your, own mind, your previous studies, by reading the papers that can defend your research. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Okay. So this was about the result and discussion section. Okay, coming to conclusion section. So what I say, conclusion is similar to our abstract, but in a reverse order. Okay, so we kind of restate our hypothesis. That first we tell that to deal with this problem, we propose this solution. Okay, and this were the findings. And with this work, this work, when if done in the future, can help significantly in the research domain. So I'll just take you through this particular example. Okay, so conclusion can also have the limitations, the recommendation, and the closing remarks that we want. So when I gave the example of space debris, in the abstract, I told that space debris is a big problem, and to solve this, we need some solution. Yes, this is how I started. And then I ended with that in this work, we are proposing this. Yes. So for this particular work, if I'm writing a conclusion, my conclusion will start that through this study, to detect the space debris or to classify the space debris, we propose this method, which enhances the accuracy and also helps in real-time implementation for onboard type of debris detection. Yes, and it could be helpful in this circumstances. So this, like in abstract, we are going from 1 to 4. In conclusion, we go from 4 to 1. Okay, like in this work also, you can see that through the study, we provide initial exploration concept by the novel imaging techniques that they have developed. Okay, so and as a conclusive remark, that based upon our investigation, this algorithm can be used for the bigger problem which exists. So is conclusion clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so after conclusion, another thing that becomes very important is, I told you literature review is one of the very important thing when it comes to research writing. Similarly, to cite that literature also becomes important because it gives credit to the original authors and to credibility to them. So if you do not do the proper citations, what could happen is, if suppose you have written that this works have been done in past and you're not giving a citation, the other person can, claim that they have been not cited or it's repetition of their work. Okay, so to avoid that plagiarism, to avoid that, to bring transparency, references become very important. So at different places, you would have seen that, here, like for example, here 18 is there. So in 18, which is here, the references are cited like this. Okay. So for the citation, there is different format. For example, IEEE format, APX format. So based upon where you want to publish, you have to write your references in that format. So references basically has 4 things. It should have the name of the authors, the name of the work, where it is published, and when it is published. Okay. So to refer in an article, with these 4 parameters you can do. Now, another important thing comes is how you can publish your research work. So we have already been discussing for last almost 1 hour and 20 minutes. So now how many of you are having energy to know about how to publish? Okay. Okay, so good enough. Thank you. Okay, so coming to it, see, there are different journals, there are different conferences, different things that happen together. Yes. For example, if you are doing a research on astrobiology, if you send your astrobiology paper to some journal or conference which is not associated with it, say to a sustainable development journal or conference, will they accept it?
No.
No. Okay. No. With this thing, you got the answer no, because the spectrum was very big. The spectrum to distinguish was very broad. Yes. In research, the spectrum is very narrow. So you have to decide. You have to see when you go for a journal, when you go to their website, they usually write the scope of the journal. Yes. That what kind of papers they want in this journal. So make sure that you read that scope of the paper, and then or the scope of the conference to when if you want to select a journal to publish or a conference to publish. Then they have all of them, they have their guidelines that it should be like the format, basically format, like how the title should be there, Times New Roman 18, like that kind of format you have to follow to prepare your manuscript. Other things I have already made. So once you have submitted your script, before submitting, I told you you have to do 3 things. First is you have to make sure that whatever you are writing in the script, it is properly cited. Second thing, if you are displaying any results or claiming any conclusions, you should have proof of it with you. Because these days, a lot of journals and even at conferences, people ask maybe a code or maybe your Git repository or maybe some kind of thing. Okay, so if you're targeting for a very good journal or something really, or in general, you should claim only what you have. Okay. And the third thing is, before sending, you should always do a very intense proofreading. So once you have submitted to the journal, once you have formatted it correctly, submitted to the journal, you all would be knowing, just do your work and then forget. Don't worry about the results. Because once you have submitted your research, it goes through multiple reviews. Okay. So firstly, it goes to editor. 1 second. So if the editor likes your script and find it suitable for that journal or conference, it is sent for peer review, where 1 or 2 or 3 people who will be seeing your paper and will be evaluating whether it is good based upon the quality, originality, novelty, and the relevance. And then once it is done, they will be sending you back for revisions, for example, with comments that you can add these details also, or you can cite this also, or maybe they could have some questions like, how did this work go, or how did you do that? So you will maybe need to make a revised manuscript in which you will be inculcating whatever doubts they had or whatever reviews they had. And then maybe over a period of time, I wish you all the best for your publications to happen. And that is how, the process is for paper publishing. So at this point of time, as most of you are in your early careers, so the only strategy to do is write a good paper. How to write a good paper? I think I have given a very elaborative talk on each section. Yes. And after that, you have to just try, fail. After failure, you will definitely learn that, what was not there. So a review, even if it is a rejection, is for your good, because a rejection tells what your research was lacking or what your approach was lacking. And then eventually it will lead you to make a very good paper or very good research. My thing is, like, your focus should be on research, papers will come. If you just, know about a few tips and tricks that I talked today about writing, and then surely success will come. Okay, so for writing a paper, as I mentioned, Rome was not built in a day. And so similarly, for that success to happen, you have to give a lot of effort, for which, we wish you all the best. So now, if you are having any doubt, please feel free to ask me.
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yes.
As we are in our early stage, so we know in which part of mid subject we are interested, that we want to do our research on this topic. But at the next step of that how we are able to find the exact problem, that on which problem that this is the future works, and how we are able to start it, because we know that in this way
Yes.
we are able to write the
See,
papers.
the best way to start is, what I feel is, when you want to run, then you cannot run solo. If you want to run, just see a person who is running. Yes, when you see a person who is running, your walk will automatically become fast, and you will eventually very quickly be running. Okay, so when you are at a very beginning state, that you just know that maybe you know only this much, that you want to work in the field of machine learning. Okay, machine learning is also very broad spectrum, very broad spectrum. So depending upon the application, that machine learning for example, for this medical thing, machine learning for healthcare, machine learning for astronomy, machine learning for marketing data analysis, machine learning for stock market, machine learning for so many applications are there. Okay, so one field is applications. Second field is developing algorithms. So type of algorithm, forest based, or maybe the statistical based, mathematics behind it. So you don't know which niche to go. Okay, so the best way could be interact with someone who's already doing some research, gain some experience, or maybe research with them. It's better if at an early stage you write few combined papers with some people who are already doing at your institute or at your place, or maybe here. So network, collaborate, work, learn, because the people who are working already, they have experience. So make use of their experience, so that your journey becomes fast. That is how would be my advice for the early careers.
Ma'am, actually, I know that this is because I am very well interested in the observation one, and I want to go in the astrophysics field basically. So my background is physics, so I want to go the observational astrophysics. So there are a huge amount of things in the observation as well, as we discuss about the space debris. So
Yes.
there is dark matter physics, and there is some sort of huge, because every part has its own. So how we start the reviewing the paper, how we are able, because I just take a 1 year gap for specially for this to get more knowledge before enrolling the masters. I just want to know the every idea, because after masters we don't have much time for that.
Okay. So I have a book in front of me and I was reading it. This Atomic Habits. Okay. So today morning itself, I just went through some paper, someone that I was reading. So it mentioned that a professor separated a group, the students in two groups. Okay, so the one group was asked to take 100 pictures, and the other group was asked to take one good picture. Okay, but eventually, after some time, when they were evaluated for the picture quality, the people who were asked to take 100 random photos took a better photo than the person who was asked to take one good photo. Because when we run for the precision, when we run for all the thing in the world, we don't get experience. Okay, we just get we just get how to do it. We don't get experience of doing it. So just do it, experience, and then grow. That is a better approach. For example, if you've taken a break, the good idea is to enroll at some internship or get associated, work, learn, and then grow. Parallelly, you can do your learning also, but see the thing is, uh, you cannot count the miles by seeing how to run. Yes, and you cannot
Yes,
acquire
ma'am.
all the miles. So if you want to count the miles, you have to run. At early, you would be running very slow, or you would not be even walking, but you have to make an effort to do it. And once you start, that is the first thing that can happen. You cannot have it all. Like that's uh, the truth of the life, actually, for every one of us. I cannot have the all knowledge in the particular stream, any stream. I cannot be the best at everything. So how I can just improve myself is by doing, learning from my failures and then doing it.
Okay, so ma'am, basic thing where to start is just if you know the topic, means just very detailed topic, and you don't know the subtopic, just
If
do
don't
the
know the just if you don't know anything, don't run behind knowing. Run behind just doing something. It could not be useful. It will, for example, in astrophysics, there are so many dimensions. Okay, you want to research an XYZ dimension, and you are searching for the opportunities there. If you get an opportunity for AB dimension, go for AB dimension. Okay, best is the enemy of good, because in search of best, a lot of people lose good. And the best, you get the best when you step on good. Okay, so that's my piece of advice.
Okay, ma'am, I got your point. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the
If you want
session.
to research on something, you are having a little idea of it, just go ahead with it. Just try implement it. Try to write your first paper to be getting rejections, but that is how you start. That is how you learn, and it takes time. So
Yes,
see,
ma'am.
you have to be very patient. If you see the research career, it starts very late. Okay, so I'll just give an example of if you see your professors, if you see your professors, for example, okay, so they would have done their BE, BTech, whatever, MSc, BS, MS, PhD. Maybe some would have done postdoc, and then they are here to deliver their knowledge to you. Yes.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
as an individual person, there are two things that matter. But this is like, maybe my point of view. One is the quality and one is the quantity. Okay. So, usually, if some person is working for some industry or whatever, I'm not telling anything like that. But they would be like the time when their output, when they are not able to give the deliverable outputs, or where their experience becomes null, is maybe till the age of 50, 60 maximum. Yes, after that, if you see in the other domains, the time becomes limited. But in on contrary, when you see the biography of APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab, the story starts for a research person, the career starts like this. It's an exponential growth. Okay, so
Yes,
till the
ma'am.
time you reach that exponent wala point, you have to be very, very patient. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And the other thing is the quality. So quality depends for a person. This is my purely my point of view. Is what is the impact factor of your existence? Okay, so in this tag, like how many people you are influencing. So when you are doing the research, for example, the Graham Bell did telephone research. Yes, research on telephones. So the number of people he is impacting today is the total population of world, maybe. Yes, or at least 70% of the population of world. At least
Yes,
50%
ma'am.
of the population is using phones. Yes, so that is the impact of research. Okay, so be proud when you are doing it and be patient. Yes, Rohan.
Yes, ma'am. I was having two doubts with respect to this.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I also wanted to make one announcement.
Mm-hmm.
The announcement is that, for people who are not aware about, that it's artificial, we also provide the training programs with respect to machine learning and deep learning, clubbed with astronomy. So I'll be talking about this kind of things because while registering for this webinar, I had seen that a lot of you were interested to know about it. Okay. So I'll be sharing about it's like the respective details about it at the end of this question answer session, right? So yeah, if you are interested to know about it, please stay after the question answer session is over with, ma'am. Now, along with that, ma'am, I was having two doubts with respect
Hmm.
to usual questions that I've got from students. So I'll
Hmm.
just like to bring it up to you. The first question is that how should they approach, like, for the beginners who
Hmm.
are like doing it for the first time, they want to collaborate with someone who is experienced, and because they are not having any kind of previous
Yes, yes, yes,
work experience, so how
yes.
can they reach to this kind of people?
See, when you don't have any experience, the only motivating factor that you are having is the zeal, the enthusiasm, and the previous knowledge you are having. Okay. So the previous knowledge and your enthusiasm both should be reflected in kind of a proposal. Okay. Suppose if you want to do an internship at XYZ place, then you need to write a proper letter that, this is my background. I have worked on these projects, maybe the small projects that you would have done at your university. And this is the work in which I want to do. And I have seen your papers or maybe your profile, and you've been working great in this. It would be great if I can be under your guidance and so that to continue my research, something like that. That would be sufficient. Because see, in the field of research, there is one thing which is, I feel, very common between any person you approach, is their humbleness. They have also been through the phase that you are going through. Okay, so they understand this. So approach, feel free, and don't approach only to one professor or two professor. The people are really scientists also, they are busy. So like, see what places you can do. Try, and you will succeed. Okay, how to try, I told you. Yes.
Yeah, that was my first doubt. Thank you so much for that.
Mhm.
The second doubt is with respect to, like, let's say if there are 4 or 5 beginners who are working together on a project.
Hmm.
Okay, and now they are willing to publish their paper, like, they are
Yes.
thinking that whatever they have done is really good
Yes.
enough
Mhm.
to go ahead for the publication. So now, with respect to the charges, right, that we need to pay for the publishing in a good journal, so that it's getting accepted very quickly.
See, there are
So
two kind of journals. Okay, so firstly, if you are a group of a few people starting, it's very, very good to have a mentor, because a mentor will have experience, he will have much, much better idea. There are a lot of free journals also. Okay, and second thing is the APC, that is the article processing charge, is sometimes sponsored by your university, or like, if you get a mentor, he can tell you, like, from where you can get your APC back. Yes.
okay, ma'am, thank you.
Mhm. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
And I actually put up a question in the comment box. Can you please answer
Uh,
that?
okay. At what time do we realize? Okay, now I'm ready for researching. See, for this, um, the one way to, and maybe the only way to do is, who can tell you that your research, whatever you have done, is significant. There are two people who can tell you. One is you send your paper, the reviewer will tell you that your work is outdated, good, bad, or accepted. Okay. So you have to make that attempt. And secondly, any guide or mentor can tell you that, this you can do more, or if it is a good level. Okay. So you can send. It's okay to send. So that if it is good, it is accepted. If not, then you will, from the reviews, you will get to know how you can improve it. Yes, Rohit.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Like, as a student of undergraduate, like, if I'm interested in some other topic, okay, like, but I'm getting opportunity to do some research work in some other topic. Like, should we go for that?
If you, it depends on you. See, it completely depends on you. I have been with the people who were very focused on astronomy, very, very focused on astronomy, and they had got to do good research work at very good laboratories in the field of domain they were in. But they had so much passion that, they prepared and they waited for that to get that particular field. So if your passion is very much is greater than the like, what compromise you are doing to get that, then you should wait. If not, then if you would have talked to me, my point of view, I would have not compromised and got with the research, and maybe kept in mind that, okay, this research I wanted to do, and whenever got an opportunity in life, get back to that research. So it depends on, like, the compromise you're doing for your passion, and your passion, what weightage is more. I hope you got the answer, Rohit.
Yes, ma'am, I got it.
Okay. Yes, Abhishek.
Yeah, ma'am, you can take the doubt of Akshat first because his
Yes,
question
yes,
was
yes,
incomplete.
Akshat.
Yes, ma'am. I asked that, like, how much should I study, for example, the astronomy only? How much should I study astronomy before I think that, okay, now I am ready to do a research, and now I'll publish a research, no, not publish, I'll send research paper for reviewing.
See, there is no scope, there is no limitation. The well is very deep. So, what you can do to know whether you have reached the water or not is, go to Google Scholar or maybe ResearchGate, read few recent papers, at least 10 to 20 papers. Not like, don't read them like focus that, okay, I have to read the paper. As I'm reading this book, just scroll through them. Okay, and then you scroll through your paper. If your intuition, because we are our best mentors, so either one mentor can guide you, that is the first solution. And second thing is, if your inner self is saying that, yes, my work, whatever I'm doing, is competitive up to this level, then you can put it. And secondly, like, I'll give you a very, I'm not sure if it is a correct example. In JEE, if someone doesn't get IIT, what they do?
The next best option.
They go to state government.
Yes.
If they don't get state government, what they do?
Some private or something.
Private. Okay. When you see this, people who are from private, good people from private college, good people from IITs, good people from state government, after a level, they all are working in this almost same range. Yes. After
Yes,
maybe they're
ma'am.
35 years, yes, of age. Okay. Similar for research. Get in the, like, there are journals of different impact factor. You can start with the lower one. If you're getting a good mentor, that can be the best thing. If you have a mentor, the mentor can, maybe your guide or someone at your university, they can tell you more onto it. Okay, so to check the depth of the water, first is you can use some good glasses, that is reading the research paper to get the depth, like, whether you have reached or not, to evaluate your own research on your own. And second way is to throw a stone, throw your paper, and see, like, what reply you're getting back.
Yes, ma'am. And
Got it now?
lastly, yes, ma'am. And lastly, out of all these research papers, like, there are hundreds and thousands of research papers, how to find that one gap? It's feel like it's a huge task. How to find a gap?
Yes, it is a very huge task. See, the gap can be anything. A gap can be a big gap, or a small gap can be a gap can be a very small gap, but which is, the stepping stone for other things to go on. Okay, so that depends on, see, what a lot of people follow is a tree method. Okay, so the tree method is like, you read a few papers, say 10 papers. Out of those 10 papers, you get their references. In those 10 papers, also references are there. Suppose, I'll give you example, you're reading papers on space debris. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in the papers of space debris, you can have, like, they might be referring to two different papers. One telling about the, how much total space debris is there. Another identifying each debris, each stone in the debris. Okay, you want to focus on stone. Now in stone also, there could be two variety of paper, that, one could be finding the dimensions of stone, one could be finding the trajectory of stone. Suppose you are interested to find the dimension of stone, then you see what are the methodologies, and here's the way where you find the gap. Okay, so you have to follow the tree structure, leave the nodes, accept the nodes, and go little in deep, and then you will find that.
Okay, now it's clear. Thank you, ma'am.
Now?
Now it's
Okay.
clear. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, Abhishek.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Actually, I wanted to know, like, for application for PhD, how many research experiences, like, how many research experience should we have? And
0.
like, for example, if you're applying to some place outside of India,
0. Because when you're applying, then the people to who are evaluating your application know that you are coming from a level of masters. Oh, okay. So they don't expect. First thing is that. Secondly, if you're having, that is only a added advantage. Okay, that is not the mandatory need. Okay.
ma'am,
Third thing
how
is,
should we like design an application?
yes. So coming to it. So for designing the application, you have to write something called a statement of purpose. And for statement of purpose, two things are important: your background, that what you have done so far, maybe at your university or whatever. And the second thing is your motivation. Okay. So if your background is weak, you're not having adequate research experience, keep your motivation high. By motivation, I mean your research motivation. And the research motivation you have to reflect by the literature review, by the kind of depth of knowledge you're having. Okay, so you might have seen the slide I told you know why you are writing that research document. The first one was proposal. Okay, so for the proposal, your significance of your contribution, your literature review, and the tentative methodology is more needed. Okay, so significance, how you can contribute that if your that thing is high. It is a sum of the two SOP, your background and your this. So if you're having 1 week, make others strong.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Make your proposal strong. Okay. Okay, so I think we had a very long session planned for 1 hour, and then
Yeah, it is. It just,
then came to know that it's almost going to be 2 hours.
yeah.
So if anyone else is having any question or want any guidance, you can maybe connect with me on LinkedIn. Okay, or maybe you can just approach Spartificial. They're having chatbot also. Maybe now I think would be good idea if you can take over, Rohan, and maybe
Yeah,
show
sure.
them the website and the courses which are coming.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay.
First of all, ma'am, thank you so much for your time and for this valuable session. And for everyone else over here also, thank you so much for taking part over here. Now I'll simply be going over and showing you guys how, like, if you're interested to work on some kind of machine learning and deep learning projects, then how you can do it with the help of Spartificial. So I can see a lot of you over here are already from, like, the Spartificial, like some or the other we are connected from Spartificial. So yes, if you're not having any kind of doubts with respect to
Rohan, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Okay. So thank you all the students for attending it. It was really nice to interact with you all. I would like to take a leave. Okay. And I wish you all the best for your researches and your publications. Okay, so best wishes from my side. Okay, Rohan, you carry on. I'll take a leave.
Sure, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, guys, and all those who are already familiar with Spartificial and the programs that we offer, you all can also feel free to leave. I'll be with people who are new to this kind of things. Okay. All right, guys. So I'll just take very 5 minutes kind of time to explain this thing very quickly. I'll just share my screen first of all. And I'll also be taking doubts with respect to it. Okay. So these are the main things that I'm going to talk about right now. So what we do at Spartificial, like this is just the spartificial.com. You go to this particular website and you will be able to have this interface. What we do over here, the primary thing that we do is that we provide this kind of training programs, specially curated for students who are having a deep passion for astronomy. Right, so we are developing this kind of problem statements and creating a project out of it, and then releasing it like this. Right. So the currently upcoming two programs that we are offering is artificial intelligence for lunar exploration and astronomical data science with Python. In both of them, we are having Python because you can see there are no prerequisites in either of it. Right. And the starting date is something like, you can find it just by clicking on this. You will be able to find the exact date when it's about to start. So the AI for LE, Artificial Intelligence for Lunar Exploration, is going to start from 18th November. And the ADS batch, that is the Astronomical Data Science, is going to start from 27th of November. Right? That's the starting date. Now, what are we going to offer you guys over here? Like, we are going to, like, do a lot of exciting things throughout both of these training programs. Right? I'll just talk about that very quickly because I've summarized it in this particular file. So both of these training programs are live training programs. Okay. And I'll be the primary instructor. So for those who are not knowing me, I am Rohan. Okay. I'm working with Spartificial primarily as a machine learning engineer. And along with that, we are also I personally is completely involved in developing all the kind of content you are seeing over here, like that you will be seeing while taking part in this particular thing. And I'm the primary instructor over here, and along with me there will be other instructors also. But yeah, I will be the primary instructor over there, and I'm having experience in machine learning for in terms of teaching for more than 1 year now. All right. And yep. So I am the one who has designed all the content. I'm be completely excited to show this all things to you all. And this two course actually, these two course are the course which are loved by our students. Just don't go with this particular thing. Okay, it's just some kind of a glitch in the website. The actual numbers are pretty much different different than these. Okay, it's just that both of these training programs are the OG ones. Okay, that we are offering. Both of them are widely loved by our students. In the ADS, we are providing you guys the main thing that we are providing over here is the image processing skills, starting from completely basic till the advanced level that astronomers do. All these kind of things we provide over here. Along with that, we also club this with the machine learning, deep learning, and the project that you guys will be solving over here will be the image classification task. Based on, you will be classifying different kind of galaxies. There will be 37 different classes, and you will be creating an AI model that's going to be smart enough to classify any kind of galaxy that you give as an input. It will tell you what kind of class it belongs to. So this kind of things you will be able to do it. And don't worry if you are someone who is not knowing Python, all right? Because we'll be having specific weeks. The starting of the 2-3 weeks are highly dedicated for people who are very new to Python. Right? So everything that you will be requiring in terms of Python, everything will be covered from the very basics till the level that is required to complete this kind of advanced projects, right? So all these things will be covered in terms of Python. So even if you are someone who is not knowing Python, then specific to what we are teaching over here, what kind of project you are going to build, whatever things you will be needing for this, you will have sufficient information about it, and even you will be practicing it as we go ahead in the training program, right? So Python is not going to be any kind of a hurdle. But apart from Python, in the astronomical data science, we are going to spend about 3 to 4 weeks on image processing, then 3 weeks on this machine learning and deep learning along with this particular project. Moving on to AI for LE, what you are going to do over here is, again, Python skills will be taught to you in the initial few weeks. Then there is no image processing involved over here. Okay, we'll directly jump into the machine learning part, deep learning part, and there is a project with respect to computer vision where you will be performing semantic segmentation on a lunar surface with the help of a technology called as UNet. And we'll also have a discussion with respect to segment anything model, that how you can use that also in order to achieve this particular task. So this kind of project is what you will be learning. So what is the primary thing that we are teaching over here? Okay, we are keeping a lot of things with respect to machine learning and deep learning. Okay, and we are attaching some kind of data set to it that is from the astronomical background. Okay, and I have got a lot of questions like this. Okay, should I only focus on the problem statements which are focusing on the astronomical domain to apply to some kind of company and get some work? The answer is simply no. All right, it's like the only thing that you should follow on is what kind of tech stacks you know and how much confident you are about it. Because even let's say you're applying at ISRO, okay, at NASA, at SpaceX, this kind of big companies, the primary thing that they are going to interview on is the tech stack that you are knowing, how good you are with it. And then automatically, it's just that data set keeps on changing, okay? And if you're having some kind of experience with respect to astronomy, that's well and good, right? So what we are going to focus in both of these programs is, we'll be having some of the astronomical information also going throughout the course. Okay, but the primary focus will be to give you the idea on the tech stack, then how you can implement it on this kind of projects. Okay? So what is the meaning of semantic segmentation? Let's say you are given some kind of an image on the moon. All right, now on that moon image there could be a larger rock, there could be a smaller rock, there could be sky that we are able to see, the black surface, right? The not surface but the black sky, right? So how is a rover able to segment all of these things and is able to navigate confidently without any kind of hurdle in between, right? So all these kind of things is dependent on how powerful your AI software is to segment a given visual in terms of semantic segmentation. Okay, what is semantic segmentation? All these things will be again a part of this particular course. So yes, this is what we provide in AI for LE. The main difference between these two things is that AI for LE is not having the image processing skills, okay, and ADS is not having an extensive version of computer vision that is involved. Okay, in AI for LE we are having the computer vision, that is the the key thing in this particular training program, and in ADS we are having image processing as our key thing. All right, and along with that we are also having how you can take this kind of image processing skills and implement it for your deep learning project. For example, this is one of the examples, right? So yes, this is the key difference in between both of them. Along with that, ADS is a 10 weeks program and AI for LE is 8 weeks program. The timings will always be will be starting from 7:30. That will be our primary timing. And the days for ADS is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And each session is about 1 to 1.5 hours long. Coming to AI for LE, you are having sessions on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. These are the only 2 days where you will be having the sessions. And in each of the sessions, it will be about 2 hours long. Okay, even it can go beyond that sometimes, even about 2.5 hours at times. But usually it's going to last till around 2 hours long. All right. And here are the fees that we are having. That is, for ADS, it's 4990. For AI for LE, it's 2495. Okay, 2495. ADS is this much. And how you can enroll in either of it, or maybe both of it if you want. You simply come to this spartificial.com, go to programs, click on either of the program you want to have a complete look at. Right? Go through all of this kind of details, right? And there will be an option of enroll now. Once you will click on enroll now, you will ask to sign up on this particular website. So do the sign up process very quickly and click on this enroll now, and you will be getting an option of payment and everything, right? So that's how you will be able to enroll. But now here are some kind of common points that are very much common in both of them. Okay, the first thing is there is no prerequisites. We are having students who has just completed 10th, like they are still in school days, and also people who are pursuing PhD. So both mixtures are there. So there are no prerequisites involved. Everything that you will be requiring to complete this kind of advanced projects, okay, to complete this kind of projects, whatever things you will be requiring, we are the ones who will be teaching you in the upcoming, like in the previous weeks, before you even start this kind of problem, right? So no prerequisites are required. Then there is a quick doubt solving facility that we provide. How are you going to do that? Once you will be enrolling into any of the training program, you will be having access of Slack, okay, Slack workspace. Now over there, you just provide some question in the doubts channel, and as soon as possible, I'll be over there to respond to you. It won't be any kind of a chatbot who will be replying it to you. It will be me or any of the trainer who are there working at that particular time will be answering your doubts, okay, as quick as possible. But it's not only offline, okay. Even after the session is over, or even before the session starts, you are having the liberty to ask as many questions. All right. So yeah, that quick doubt solving facility is something that we are really proud about, that whatever you are kind of having any kind of doubts, even people or the trainers who are working late at night are even solving your doubts at 3 o'clock in the morning, early morning, basically. So yeah, even this is something that we are allowing. Okay. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to share. And along with that, the most important thing is the internships. Okay. Once you are done with the training program, there is some kind of a criteria that you need to complete in order to say that, okay, yes, you have completed the training program. So what is the eligibility criteria? It's the assignments. Okay, we are going to give you some assignments, and the simple criteria is that even if you are able to solve 50% of the assignment, then you are eligible to say that you have completed the course. Okay, let's say we are having 2 assignments. So if you have performed as such, like 50% in assignment 1 and 50% in assignment 2, even still you will be eligible to get this internship. Right? So that's the one criteria, that you have completed the course. And once that eligibility criteria is met, after that you will be exposed to a completely new workplace on Slack, where you will be having access to mentors. Okay, different mentors, bright students who have got internships, and also the offers that we guys give at this internships. Okay, like paid offers. People who have completed their internship at Spartificial. Okay, just after taking the training program. Okay, so the internships we provide specifically are unpaid. Okay, after this particular training program, you won't be getting any kind of a paid internship. The internship that we will be providing will be completely unpaid, but at the same time, the people who have already completed this kind of internships that we provide, okay, for this kind of students, we are having paid internship offers also. So whenever we require any kind of interns, all right, or maybe some company who are in partner with us, if they are requiring some kind of interns to work for them, then we also give this kind of paid opportunities. But this is only if you are someone who has completely done at least one internship at Spartificial, right? But the primary thing that we provide is the experience that you will be exposed to, like what kind of things you should know for working in this kind of internship. So this kind of exposure will be given to you all in this internships. Okay, and only if you're able to complete it successfully. If you leave it in the between, then it's of no use. So yeah, even this kind of internships we provide. After that, what kind of certificates we are offering? Though obviously everyone who has participated into the training program, everyone will be getting the participation certificate. Along with that, if you have completed the training program, that is, you have submitted your assignment, even irrespective of how much you score, if you are just submitting the assignment, you will also be getting the completion certificate. All right. And completion certificate and eligibility criteria are two different things. If you are submitting the assignment and if you are getting at least 50% in each of the assignments, only then you are eligible for the internships. Okay, because this is the minimum criteria that we require to understand if you are capable enough to take the exhausting things that will be coming up to you in the upcoming weeks, right? So yeah, that's something that we really look forward to. And after that, let's say once you're selected for the internship and you are done with the internship, successfully completed the internship, then you will also be getting the certificate with respect to the internship that you have attended at this Spartificial. And after that, you will also be getting a letter of recommendation if you are looking forward to it while applying to your, let's say, upcoming higher studies or going for a job, something like that, right? If you're looking forward to a letter of recommendation and if you completed your internship, then we can also offer that particular thing, right, under Spartificial. So yes, these are the complete things that you should know if you are someone who is really want to work in this particular domain of machine learning that is clubbed with the data sets of astronomy. Then this is your go-to place. And you can find all the necessary respective information on this training program's particular page. Simply click on it and get access to it. And just in case if you're facing any kind of issues while applying or having any kind of problems, click on this WhatsApp button and get in touch with us. Whatever kind of doubt you will be having, it will be solved. All right, guys. So yes, that's it from my side. If you're having any doubt specific to this, you can let me know, or else, yeah, we are done for this particular webinar.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yes. So suppose like I complete all of your programs and I perform well in internships too, and your artificial internships. And suppose now I want to have my summer internships for my like third or fourth year of engineering
Okay.
in ISRO. So
Okay.
can I mention that I have worked with artificial internships in my
Of
letter
course,
to
yes,
ISRO?
you will be able to mention it. Yes.
Yes.
And you can also show them the letter of recommendation. So yeah.
Yes. And also can I like mention that I have completed this course on LinkedIn?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who are done with their internships. They are done with the training programs also. They are still uploading that on LinkedIn.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Any other doubts, guys? Let me just check the chat. All right. So any other doubts? All right, guys. So yeah, thanks once again for attending this webinar. I'll just end the recording over. Thank you, guys.
Can I get